Hello, you all. I am finally back with a Taylor song today. I can fix him. No, really, I can. I feel like this is going to be a really good one for me. You know how I feel about trying to fix other people. And you all, I'm not going to plug everything that I have, but just one, just one thing. This Thursday night is a full moon. And you know, I love science and I love the earth and the full moon. There are 4 supermoons this year. This is the third one, and it's the closest to Earth. Very, very, very close. Gonna make the tides, they call them king tides, I believe. So it's impacting our Earth a lot, so then it has to impact us. So I think that it's at a really important time on this full moon for us to really examine our shadow self, the things that we need to release before we call in the good things that will nourish us and keep us protected and safe during the long winter months that are upon us. Saying some of this because it is the Hunter's Moon. So there is a theme there. This Thursday night at 9 p.m., I'm going to basically be doing an hour and a half of guided therapy. It should be very, very fun. It's an event on Eventbrite, and I will be sending a Zoom link, so I will be able to see your faces. That's something that I can't do on YouTube. So this is a special thing. If you wanna do it, there should be a link below or in my description. And so you click on it and buy tickets. Tonight at midnight is when the cutoff for the early bird price will be. So please join us if you are called. If this is not your thing, if you're weirded out by anything, any type of talk of astrology or earth or tying together those pieces with psychology, then it's not for you. So don't come. Okay.
The smoke cloud billows out his mouth like a freight train through a small town.
Okay, that sound is very Western, and then the writing is not what I expect. I don't know what I should expect, but the dark and just the way it's written, I'm like, this is a little spooky. So maybe this is good for this time of year, you know? Okay, I'm gonna start over again.
The smoke cloud billows out his mouth like a freight train through a small town. The jokes that he told across the bar were revolting and far too loud. They shake their heads saying, God help her, when I tell him he's my man. But your good Lord doesn't need to lift a finger. I can fix him, no, really I can. And only I can.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Taylor. This trying to rescue someone and to think this was pointed out to me in therapy, that trying to save someone else, putting their needs before mine, is actually like showing, I mean, it's complex. There is a part of it where I was likely trying to distract myself from my own issues, and also thinking, like having the audacity to think that you can save someone else. Like there's something slightly egotistical about it, if I'm being honest. So here, like when she thinks only she can, man, she talked about this in Among the Tortured Poets Society. There is a theme in this that she thinks that she can do, that she can conquer all. She's definitely looking at him as a very big person in every way. So freight train billowing, all of the smoke, which is probably making people cough, making them feel sick, going through a really small town. So if you live in a small town and you hear a freight train, everybody hears it. His jokes being revolting and loud, that also makes me think of the sound of a freight train being loud. And also, like, sometimes the sound of it can hurt your ears a little bit. But it's giving me But Daddy, I Love Him vibes, because she's referencing God and religious aspects, being like, you know, you don't have to pray for me. Like, I have it figured out. And sometimes people can see what you maybe don't want to see or don't want to believe. She wants to be like, I can handle this. But we all know who she's probably meaning. And if any of you do join on Thursday night, I will be talking about these themes, ironically. I'll be talking about the drama triangle and looking at the different roles that sometimes we play. And one of them is a rescuer, and that is definitely what's going on here. And it also is so strange because it's like, why does this person need fixing? Like, what is this desire in her to do that? It's something we really have to analyze. All right, let's keep going.
The dopamine races through his brain on a 6-lane Texas highway. His hand so callous from his pistol softly traces hearts on my face. And I could see it from a mile away, a perfect case for my certain skill set. He had a halo of the highest grade, he just hadn't met me yet.
Oh, Taylor, I
Can't take it.
but she's so honest here. It's looking at people with rose-colored glasses on and not really seeing them for who they are. He's tracing hearts on her face with a pistol. Like, come on now. Come on now. Dangerous. Dangerous. Why are you going toward it? Run away from it. You know what I was talking about, how it's a little egotistical sometimes when you're a rescuer. You think that you are that powerful that you can really fix someone. I know it's really empathy and you're really empathetic and compassionate and you want to help someone else, but you're also not realizing the dysfunction of it and the limits of it. So she's saying he had a halo of the highest grade, he just hadn't met me yet. So it's like, oh, he didn't know how special he was, what a good person he actually was. It's her wanting to believe that he has a halo, that he is actually someone that is really, really good, and they just hadn't met her yet. If they meet the right person, then their good side will come out. And it's just it's faulty thinking. It's not good. And also, the thing that's attractive about relationships and people like this is that they are toxic, and you have to admit it to yourself that you might like the toxicity. A lot of times it's more exciting and more entertaining or more fun than stability. And a lot of people get bored in relationships that are healthy, honestly. She could see him from a mile away, going on the 6-lane highway. Again, she thinks that she has that certain skill set that will be able to change him or to make a difference. And I'm speaking from experience, it's a big beeping waste of time.
He had a halo of the highest grade, he just hadn't met me yet. They shake their heads saying God help her when I tell him he's my man. But your good Lord doesn't need to lift a finger, I can fix him, no, really I can. And only I can. Good boy, that's right. Come close, I'll show you heaven if you'll be an angel all night. Trust me, I can handle me a dangerous man. No, really, I can. They shook their heads saying God help her when I told them he's my man. But your good Lord didn't need to lift a finger, I can fix him, no, really I can. Whoa, maybe I can't.
Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. I'm so glad it ended that way. Thank you. You know what? There's something about what she's saying here when she talks about, it's kind of describing him as a little like sleazy, a little greasy. It's like, he is the representation of the music industry. And it's almost like she's trying to take it on, believes that she can, or maybe she's sacrificial in a way to it, realizing this more at the end. So it does remind me of Badadia Lovin', but a lot about Clara Bow. It could also be her projection too. It's her determination to fix a man, and it represents her own need for validation and purpose, being thought of as good, But then there's the God help her, Lord help her. That's more pressures around being idolized. Then the toxicity that must exist for her, where she starts to believe that she can do it, that she's almost godlike because, you know, she's put up on a pedestal. And that has to be intoxicating in some ways too. You even look at gender roles, women are typically um, the nurturers, the caretakers, you know, women. And I've experienced this in my last marriage. A lot of judgment that came my way for not really being able to, I mean, in judgment from people, but also on myself of not being able to rehabilitate a man. I mean, look, I'm a therapist, so it was like experienced a lot of shame around it, a lot of questioning my own worth, because if I'm so good as a therapist, people then like, why can't I fix or help my spouse? And that was something I had to process a lot, that it's like, wait a second, I'm still a human being and I don't have control. You know, it's people's own choice if they want to change. That's it. And it's also touching upon, I feel like, in this, the theme of dependency and control that goes on when we're talking about those specific gender roles. We see smoke and it's black and white. And I think that type of binary thinking is really a dangerous thing. There's Taylor Swift, who gets blamed for men's failures, their issues. I think that she's gotten to a point where it's like, it won't matter anyway, so who cares what I do? I will get blamed no matter what. I also think about like that outward focus of fixing someone else, when really the transformation and alchemy needs to come from inside. You really can't make outward change happen if you haven't worked on yourself inside. Truly, I believe that. I also think that whenever she comes up against criticism, whether it's from religious groups or people, you know, saying like, oh Lord, we got to help her, someone who is extremely independent and is used to being able to defy the odds in a lot of ways, it could lean to getting cocky and being like, no, I will show you I can change this person. And she's trying to say, I have the skill set for this. Remember, I can make the bad guys good for a weekend. Think of what she's had to do. She's come up against the music industry, Spotify removing her music, trying to stand up for the rights of, you know, musicians that are not as well known and that are just trying to make a living putting out their art. And she's had some success, but people have been like, oh God, is she going to be able to do it? So I think that it's a bigger theme. And in some ways she's been able to do it. So of course she would think she still could on a smaller, if she can do it on a big scale, why couldn't she do it with a person? You know, when you think about the smoking freight train, it really gives me that idea of, you know, destruction, 6-lane highway. It's like something that's really hard to control. She does that like good boy, dangerous man. Again, she's playing with that, the binary there, that I think is toxic and like really oversimplify complex issues. And I think a lot of times we do that. It's a cognitive distortion and black and white thinking that really, when we get into that, we got to really check it, or have friends check it for us, or check it in therapy. Okay, so very short song, lots and lots to think about here. Oh my gosh, just made me think of LOML. It's one of my favorite ones off the album. And when she says cinephile and black and white, it's making me think of that, like the black and white colors here. Yeah, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget my self-care toolkit that I have on my Etsy. Yeah, check it all out. All right, sending you good vibes.